Um, can you still not hear us? I mean, we weren't speaking, so. Can you still not hear us? I mean, we weren't speaking, so. Can you still not hear us? I mean, we weren't speaking, so. Can you still not hear us? I mean, we weren't speaking, so. We can't hear Anne.
Don't think you're muted,
We
but
can't hear
can't
Anne.
hear you.
Hello?
Don't think
Hi,
you're
there
muted,
you
We
go.
can.
can't hear you.
Hello?
Don't think
Hi,
you're
there you
muted,
go.
can't hear you.
Hello. Excellent.
Hi, there you go.
Looks like we're live. Pro streamer.
Excellent.
Love this. Hi. Welcome
like
to
we're
the Bardic
live.
Inspiration Network. My name is
Pro
Anne,
streamer.
and
Love
you
this.
are
Hi.
watching my channel. We are coming to you live with the very first episode of Power Rangers Solar City, a new Power Rangers RPG actual play. And yeah, I will be playing Avery, the Silver Ranger. And let's go around the table and do some introductions. And we're going to start with Talon.
Hi, everyone. I'm new to the network. My name's Talon. Been a long time fan of Power Rangers, Super Sentai, everything related to Toku. So, I am Fenrir, a Syrian, which is basically, if you have watched SPD, big old dog alien, and a Red Ranger for this team. So,
Jeez, what is happening?
go ahead.
Okay.
There it is. Sorry, I lost the order. I was trying to find it.
I'm having some technical difficulties. Please just hold for one moment. God. Tech gremlins. I hate them today. Okay, okay, sorry about that. I'm back. Do you guys mind starting those intros over? We're gonna start with Talon again because I didn't hear that and my computer was being weird.
All right. Well, I guess go ahead and go again. Hi, everyone. I'm Talon. Been a big fan of Toku, Super Sentai, Power Rangers, Kamen Rider, Ultraman to an extent. You name it, I've pretty much watched it. I am playing Fenrir, a Syrian, which is basically a big old dog alien, and will be the Red Ranger for this team.
Excellent. And Nilsine.
I'm Nielsen. I ran a short-lived game for a few of these people. I'm also the first time on this channel, and I'm very excited. And I'm playing Muro, our Blue Ranger mermaid. Merman, I guess.
And Minnie.
Hey everybody, what's up? My name is Minnie, and also, shockingly, it's my first time on this channel too. Also my first time playing this system, so I'm very excited for it. And I will be playing our Black Ranger, but more likely the Obsidian Ranger.
Yeah, and then we'll throw it to our GM, Ben, to introduce himself and get this game. Oh, shoot. Sorry.
Calm down. I'm here.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, if LK wants to GM, we can.
I did GM, I guess.
I'm sorry. I'm having a day. LK, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm okay. surprisingly also my first time here on the channel. I'm playing Gabriel, the resident Pink Ranger.
Okay, now we do the thing where we throw it to the GM who introduces themselves and then runs the game.
Hello, I'm Ben, or Astronomer. I'm going to be your GM. I am your GM. This is also my first time on this channel, and my first time GMing this system, and my first time GMing on stream. There we go, not on Scream. Also my first time GMing Screams, I guess. But anyway, yeah, everyone's all settled and sorted, I'm assuming, so I think we can start. We'll start in the middle of an ocean. Nice plain blue ocean. The sky is fairly clear. The sea's fairly calm. It's maybe a couple clouds off on the horizon. Other than that, it's a nice, clear, sunny day. And as the camera pans around across this view, you start to hear the blades of a helicopter spinning, and we follow a helicopter is going across the ocean. And inside are two people, a pilot, and also our first character. Minnie, introduce your character, describe what they look like, etc., and what they are doing in the back of this helicopter.
Yeah. My character is Mariana. Mariana Trench, specifically, of the Trench family. Big family. And she's kind of strapped in the back of this, the pilot and the compartments part of this helicopter. And she's kind of wearing like a very loose fitting black button down shirt with some gray joggers and just some like light green boots, and is kind of looking around and is trying to spot anything with her camera. Like she's using the zoom feature on her camera almost like a binocular to see if she can see anything other than water, more water. Oh, look, moisture, that is more water. And is kind of thrilled to be here and a little shocked that she is.
Okay, so yeah, while you're doing that, I think the cinematic thing to do is to kind of follow the camera and zoom in and see what she's looking at. Just as you're zoomed in, but there's this shimmer as you begin to look around and you pan over towards one spot. There's a shimmer, like almost like a mirage, but in the middle of the sea instead of the desert, and a slight flicker, and then almost instantaneously there's something there. Floating on top of the water, there's a city. It's about as large. It doesn't seem to be on an island. It's just floating there, like a stone and concrete structure, metal towers, 6 great big spires with another 7th spire down the center, forming a kind of hexagonal shape. And it's covered with a dome of some kind that appears to be what was giving off the reflective sheen. But that kind of fades away into a sort of vague, translucent, transparent thing where you can make out some spires and stuff like that. You're still too far away to get any real detail. And at that point, the pilot of the helicopter will call over the radio. Right, we should be almost there now. So how's it going back there?
It's going great. There's actually a landing pad on that wasn't visible like 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, there's lots. There's 7 main ones, but we've had to set up a few more. There's a lot going on in this city. It's a hell of a thing.
Oh. How long have you been flying for the city? She says as she's like shuffling through a backpack at her feet, pulling out a journal and is just writing down everything.
Something like, well, it's coming up on 6 months now. I got recruited with the second wave of folks. Yeah, it's a great place. I mean, there ain't no job like it anywhere in the world, apart from here.
Amazing. I'm sure it made quite a splash when it arrived.
Ah, yeah, it's a good one. Oh, I need to make a note of that. I like that. Sorry, I've not been introducing myself. I'm Charlie.
Oh, fantastic. That was actually my next question. Nice to meet you, Charlie.
Yeah,
Mariana.
you have been Mariana, right? That like the trench.
Yeah, you know, my parents were quite the jokesters, and it was not fun through high school.
Tough luck. That doesn't sound fun, but you know what? Yeah, we both know what kids are like.
Yeah. I just want to know what the kids were like who grew up there.
Yeah, that's what. Well, I guess that's kind of what we're all trying to find out, really. I mean, you know the basics. The Atlantis Initiative has found this place about a year ago, right down at the bottom of the ocean. It took us a while, but along with some help from Neptune and Queen Marina and their merfolk folk, they helped us get the whole thing lifted up onto the surface, and now it's a great big city that we can all come and have a look at. You've probably seen the orientation video stuff.
Yep.
Have you got any questions? I mean, the cafeteria is not great, but it'll do. There's no other real places to eat. I think there's like a kind of lunch club thing. People make sandwiches and hang out. There's a few different little entertainment things we do. You want any tips, anything like that? Just ask. I'll be here. If you need me, I'll probably be flying somewhere.
Okay, so I should just always go to Command HQ and ask where you are?
You should be getting a communicator soon.
Oh.
once you're there. I've got this one, and he'll like waves kind of a very blocky, like
Mhm.
flip phone kind of thing, but looking more still weirdly a combination of like old timey flip phone. I say old timey, that tells you how old I am, but a flip phone, but also looks much more modern and new as well.
Oh, impressive. Can that take a bullet for you too?
I haven't tried.
Good. Writes in her journal, no bullets on city? Question mark.
All right. So that's going to take a little bit of time. The city's getting closer. We'll take in another camera. Will take another pass. We'll get closer look in the city. And again, there's these 6 spires. Now you can see that there's almost like a faded color to some of them. Like they're all this kind of silvery metal sheen. Like a lot of it's glass as well, so you can, but quite reflective glass, so that you can't really see what's going on inside, or you couldn't if you were close enough to really be able to see. There's 6 major like pathways through the city, like giant motorways essentially, like main streets, but they're as wide as motorways or highways or whatever you want to call them. And tall buildings, and there's also this kind of grid of water and canals that seem to run throughout the city. And the camera will fly in towards the city and get a closer look that you wouldn't be able to see yet. But it actually looks like, even though the city's floating on the surface pretty much, a lot of the lower levels of the city is almost entirely flooded. And there's just raised areas that stick out of the water and alongside it. And that's what most of the buildings are kind of on that level. So it looks very much like a traditional sort of canal city with everything going on and buildings built up, but on closer examination, all the stuff below the water level would once have been city as well. And as the camera pans down, it will take us into a room where there is, right near the central spire. Sorry, I've got just distracted at one point during that description. I mentioned there's a silvery sheen and stuff like that to the towers. There's 6 towers around the edge, 1 in the center. The central one is kind of just plain color, but the others have a very dim, like 6 very dim colors to them. You've got a red, a black, a blue, a green, a yellow, and a pink, kind of vaguely dim colors to them, like a core to the thing where there's a kind of very slight glow, or looks like it might have once been a glow, and now it's just dim and faded, like I guess like a coloured light bulb sort of thing when it's switched off, where you can see the tinted glass, but it's not showing up with any kind of colour because the light's not turned on. And down towards the central spire, just outside, there's a small buildings stretch out from that, and just inside one of them, that's connected to it, there is a river. One of the little canals runs through it, and there's a set of chairs set up along there, with a little, in this central pathway, with chairs on either side of that, and a stream again on either side of the pathway. And this is a waiting room for the command control center, where 2 of our characters are waiting. And first, let's start off with Nilsson. Can you describe your character, please?
Of course.
And what they are doing.
Murrow is a mer person. As mentioned, there's water kind of everywhere, and although he can have legs, at the moment he is chilling in one of the waterways, listening to one of the higher ups talk and telling him something. Looks like in a little bit he's going to go swimming off, maybe. He has kind of a purple lavendery shirt and a very stereotypical kind of detective-y trench coat on. And as a mer person, tail and instead of legs. He had kind of brownish hair, short cut. Yeah.
Okay, and the other person in the room is Talon, or Talon's character. Can you introduce them and what they look like?
Sure.
And what
Sure. So, see, just this about 6'1", kind of canine-ish looking alien, red scales with a black underbelly. Sort of black tank top with over a black jacket and some pants. Looking down at a tablet, and then is there one of the higher ups or anyone else in the room that would be talking to at this moment?
Yeah, I guess someone's talking to Morrow, but probably that's another merfolk who's just about to leave. You're waiting for, basically waiting for a message. You've been told to wait for the boss, essentially, of this place, Commander Thorpe, who's probably going to show up in a few minutes.
Just take a look down my tablet.
Yes, he's just a little bit late at the moment.
Not even at that moment, but I take a walk over. I guess I would see Murrow at the pool. Take a walk over. Are you Murrow? By chance?
Oh yeah. Oh, you're Oh, they told me Yeah. What can I do for you?
Well, it seems you're my new partner on this mission. You're my new partner, Rook.
All right, sure. and he's going to pull himself out of the water. And as he does so, he gets legs. And because Power Ranger shorts.
Well, you're on time for being early, so that's at least something to count for.
And just as you say that, the doors slide open. So everybody's classic automatic doors opening up, and a blonde woman, late middle-aged, just looking kind of tired, but still with a stern, kind of standing up, strict posture, and she'll walk in and say, "I apologize for being late. Commander Thorpe, glad the two of you could make it. I assume you haven't been told what I need of you so far, but you're both with the security detail. That is correct."
You just make sure there's no general chaos during the whole initiative process, and we're pretty much in good spot.
Yes, Fenrir and Murrow, isn't it?
Yeah. Fenrir, yeah. Yes.
Good, right. Our dear Dr. Evans has been doing some more of his experiments recently, and during the last one, we picked up something, a signal from the northern section of the city, over by the Blue Spire. We don't know what it was. It was a brief fluctuation, looked like something coming online, but with a different kind of energy signature to what we're used to seeing. It seemed to resonate with Dr. Evans's technological experiment, so we can assume it has something to do with the morphing grid, but I can't guess much more. We need you two to go and check it out. That's it. Any questions? I have some more meetings to go to, but I can stay here to answer your questions as long as you need.
I assume you would have mentioned if anyone was hurt, so I don't think so. As he looks over to Fenrir.
Kind of looks to commanders, just like, anyone else in mind? You have anyone else in mind? Kind of that knowing look at the commander that you need that you need us to look out for along the way.
Well, that area's currently unexplored. You should be passing. I mean, Dr. Evans' lab is in that direction, but still a way away. We haven't gone anywhere near the Blue Spire, really, but from what we've encountered of the other spires, we did some exploration of the Red Spire, but it hasn't turned up much, and the whole place is basically broken down. Same with most of the rest of this place. We haven't really been able to glean anything from it. Maybe you'll find something different there. A lot of the walkway in the area has partially collapsed, so you might have to struggle and find your own way through. If you need anything, you can probably call in on Dr. Evans on your way by, and if he needs anything from you, he'll call you, but he's got another one of his experiments. He's running some new piece of technology that he's very proud of.
I was expecting the other kind of someone to look out for, as he kind of hints carefully at the commander.
Right, no hostiles in the city
Not
yet.
the
Assume that's
hostile,
what
not
you
the
mean.
hostiles by someone else.
I'm gonna need you to say that more plainly. I'm very busy and very
Just
tired.
your daughter, pretty much.
She's with Dr. Evans at the moment, or she should be. If
Sorry.
she's not, please do send her in that direction.
He smirks, just like, Fair enough. I tried to at least give you something, at least not from the rookie here, but he
Yes, and do try to make sure no one gets hurt. That would be preferable.
holsters the very distinctive looking weapon, sort of a white and red revolver type weapon on his side. All right, Rook, let's go. You're up, and we're on 5.
All right.
And so as you head out the door, I guess a sliding door. So I'm thinking of all kinds of camera trickery I can do. So I'm just narrating things like that. But the doors slide shut as the Commander Thorpe leaves, and then you see the door slide back open again, and it's a different room with 2 more people inside. It's at least one more person inside. It's a room with like a big science lab, basically. There's about 5 or 6 people in just lab coats, very standard issue scientists, looking sciencey with some laptops, some pads, some data collections. This is something that's obviously been set up in a pre-existing, what's probably an old laboratory of some kind. No one really knows what the rooms in this place were used for certain, but there's a large area where there's a chamber in the center of the room, with various like displays and glass coverings and stuff around the outside you can look in, and there's consoles, presumably consoles. A lot of it is just almost looks like fancy ancient scroll work and art and carvings, but you can see someone's got like a cable attached to their tablet that's kind of plugged in seemingly to this ancient carving through a little slit, and some of the carvings have got almost pushed in and indented like buttons that have been pressed down. And standing in the chamber in the center of the room, with the doors, like chamber doors slightly open, is Dr. Evans, and he is a kind of younger, middle-aged Indian, like British man of Indian descent, with a lab coat. He's got glasses. He's got a like a strap around his neck attached to a tablet, but the strap's almost kind of like or like a set of headphones as well that almost look like a stethoscope kind of thing, that he's got not quite on. He's got a stylus in his hand that he's kind of tapping on the tablet with, and the stylus itself is kind of shaped almost like an old quill pen. And as he's tapping on that, he'll put that away and say, right, time for the test to begin. Okay, ready? And he will pull out one of the communicators that Charlie, the helicopter pilot, had earlier. We'll get a kind of closer look at it, but actually, well, he'll explain it. He'll go over it in a minute. We have at least one other person in the room. Actually, it's Anne. Are you going to? Your character is supposed to be here. Is she?
She is not currently.
Okay.
She is not currently in the room, if that's what
All
you're
right.
asking.
Roll call is taken, and Anne does not answer.
So we'll move on to LK. Describe your
she
character
will
and what they're doing.
she will get there eventually, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
She's late as always. Right. Gabriel is I'm assuming on the other side, outside this little chamber.
Yep. I
And-
think actually he's probably holding a very similar communicator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as he's holding this communicator, you can see that he dresses almost exactly like Dr. Evans. Not just the white
Goat.
coat. Thank you. Not just the white coat, but he's like basically a carbon copy of the style that Dr. Evans is going for. The difference that he has a pinkish, like button-up shirt, like the Doctor, and he's very average for his like brown hair, and he's very thin, like he's been in this sun for too long, and his skin is trying to recover from the damage. And I guess he's just gonna answer the doctor's uh, message that I just forgot what he said, but that's that's not bad.
I've also forgotten what he said, but we'll assume that he does say something. Right, it's time for the test to begin. As some of you may know, this is our team's latest invention, or rather, it's a modification of the existing communicators that we've all been using since our arrival in the city. First, see here this communicator, and he'll hold it up, and you'll see that, again, very chunky flip phone kind of thing, but out on the front, it's a touch screen kind of thing. So you can act like a very bulky, thick smartphone. It's got some buttons on the side that he'll kind of press to demonstrate. And this activates, and so, you can use it for simple communications, your standard smartphone things that the youth are into. And this isn't a super old guy, but he's still talking like that. And as you can see, we've got that. We've got these buttons here hard coded into this. You can use, if you flip the phone open, we have a dialing pad, and through a series of 3-digit number codes, you can activate a variety of functions in this. You can control the touchscreen's functions. You can get a calculator or a map or that kind of thing, or more complex programs. And we also have, I'm quite proud of this, we've got 2 USB ports in the side, so you can charge it and connect it into something else at the same time. And so and also he'll bring out an adapter sort of thing with one end is a standard USB port connection thing, but the other is kind of phrase off into wires and like that kind of seem almost they're just like wires but not quite wires. Like they almost seem a little bit alive, like it's something that's not just a plug and like you can kind of just tap it down on a surface and it would find the connection on its own. Like that end would change to fit the whatever port you needed to put it in. And right. And for the final touch, that is all standard. We all know basically all about that. This is where it gets special. I love this. This is what we've all been working hard on, and we'll finally get to see if it works after all the other times when it very nearly worked. And so at this point, then can we get Anne introduce your character and what she's doing as she enters the room?
So, Avery. So, as this presentation is happening, Avery skateboards into the lab with she's wearing just like dark blue jeans and like a white hoodie and a black backwards cap, and she skateboards towards where the lab coats are to grab hers and put it on as she's moving, and then she picks up her skateboard as she like approaches the presentation area. She has similarly blonde hair to the commander, but there is a pink streak, and she just picks up her skateboard and casually just walks into the presentation and tries to act like she was there the whole time.
And now that everyone is here, I can finally present this. Okay, so conventional communicators will work through things like radio waves, and or sending signals through Wi-Fi and such. This is special because radio signals can't get everywhere, right? You can block them, you can jam radios, but through the technology we have learned from this very city and its interesting connection with the morphing grid, kind of energy matrix thing that is connected to essentially all life in the universe, we have managed to tap into the morphing grid and use that for our communication systems, communicating through the morphing grid, which connects all life in the universe, allowing us to communicate between any 2 points, essentially anywhere in the universe, instantaneously with this. Close the doors! And he'll wave a sign, the doors to the little test chamber will shut, and he'll start talking, but you won't be able to hear him, and then he'll wave again, and the doors will open back up. And right, sorry, I should have explained that earlier. This will act like a Faraday cage, will block all signals going in and out of this, and hopefully we should still be able to communicate with my dear boy over there. So, now close the doors. And the doors will close. He opens up the flip phone, enters in a dialing code. This is Dr. J. Evans calling Gabriel. How are you doing, Gabriel? And a noise comes out of, well, you all hear that through Gabriel's communicator.
My mic was muted. Sorry.
Okay, well, one communication thing failed. The experiment wasn't entirely successful, apparently.
As expected. Gabriel goes away. And okay, now there we go. Now it's working. Yes, doctor. How good. I don't know how us youth.
Woohoo! Yes!
Yes.
We got there!
You did it.
Yeah! Right, sorry, go ahead. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
4, 5, 6.
Woohoo! Yep, we're working.
Yeah,
you can open the doors now.
We need to open the door. We could keep him there. we don't need to let him out. We already have what we came for.
Okay, wait, so is Avery with the rest of the group on Gabriel's side of the door?
Yeah,
Okay.
everyone but Dr. J. Evans is outside of his room.
And he can't hear us if we're not using the communicator.
Oh, but I'm speaking through the communicator.
Okay, but he can hear you
if you're not using the communicator.
Yeah, he can.
So she just says, nah, you want to keep him in there.
I don't know. What is it? 11 minutes? Oh wow, we are usually way later than that. I'm impressed.
So
the plan for this test was just to do a quick initial test, but I suppose we can move it on to the endurance test and see how long this can maintain an open connection.
That seems like
testing.
Yep, it seems like it's still lasting.
Yeah, so whenever you feel like opening the doors, that
Um,
all gonna be good.
I don't know.
He
I
sighs,
guess.
and while
I
that's
guess
going on,
we can let you
Avery,
Yeah.
yeah, while that's happening, Avery, you feel something buzzing in your pocket, like a phone giving off vibrating because it's just received a text message or something like that. But it's not coming from your communicator. It's coming from something else that you picked up recently.
She goes to she points at Gabe and is like, "All right, so you hold it down here. I have to check something real quick." Yeah, and then she does finger guns at Dr. Evans, who can't hear her on the other side, and then just like takes her
Got it.
skateboard and just like walks walks out, and then she
Okay.
checks. And then
Okay.
she checks.
So
But-
what we, yeah, I guess this is where you've got a hammer. You found this thing. This is on our end, the players, we know what this is, but I guess you can describe it. You picked up this hammer probably about a week ago while just exploring this place. Unless you want to say otherwise, but
was bad, and I went exploring in the Blue Spire when I wasn't supposed to. And I picked up this regular sized looking hammer. And it has eyes on the flat side of it. I really have to draw this, but yeah, so it's a hammer with a face.
yeah, it's got this kind of archaic old kind of style to it. Like it looks very much like modern technology, and not like a classic hitting things hammer. It's about like the head is the same on both sides. It hasn't got like one end for prying stuff and one end for hitting stuff in. And I guess it's got these two eyes, and where they're kind of flat surfaces that didn't have any color or anything to them previously. Now, unlike any time before when you've looked at this thing, the eyes are blinking. There's a flashing red light.
Can I don't know what this is. I just found it like a week ago. But is there some check I can do because I've been doing research for the initiative? Could I do like a technology check of something? Like, is the blinking a bad thing?
Yeah, technology would be good.
Or
science, probably technology.
So like Solar City technology, I guess.
Yeah, you've got
here we
a
go.
specialization in Solar City stuff, then you can. So I guess dice roll stuff for people who don't know this system. All rolls get made with a d20, but also a skill dice, which will be anything ranging from a d2, so a two-sided dice, so a coin, to like a d12, which is a 12-sided dice. And you roll those and you add the two together. If you're specialized in something, you get to roll your skill dice. So say that's a d6, you get to roll that and every smaller skill dice and take the highest of those. What are you rolling and what do you get?
So I rolled a technology check, and it's a good thing I have edge on that because I rolled a 3 and a 19. So I rolled a 21 total.
Okay, so edge is the other thing. It's like advantage in D&D because that's going to be the easiest way to explain it. You roll 2 of the D20s and you take the highest. And there's snags, which are the bad version of that. You roll 2 D20s and you take the lowest. And you automatically get one of those if you don't have any points in the skill you're trying to use. Fortunately, you have points in the skill you're using and you've got an edge. So it's all going well for you. And that's a 21, was it? Yeah, well, because it doesn't really matter. It's high enough. Yeah, this thing hasn't ever blinked before, but there's like it kind of makes sense. It looks like it's reactivated or something like that. Like it's been lying dormant for a while, probably thousands of years, probably as long as the city has been lying dormant. And something's happened that's reawakened it. Like it's buzzing at you, kind of like a phone on vibrate. That's like someone's calling you, and the lights are flashing with a kind of rhythm to them, like it's sending out an alert or something like that.
Morse code? Is it like a Morse code blinking?
No, it's very regular. It's like just every
Are there-
every second or something like that.
Okay, so it has lights that are blinking at me. Does it have any buttons that I may have accidentally pushed?
No, there's no real buttons on the surface. There's like a slot in the handle that something could fit in, but
Any weird text?
no text on it.
Engraving? Okay. And it's just blinking at me.
Yep.
Did Avery walk outside of the room to do that?
Yeah, like she
Yes,
walked
she
outside
did.
of the lab in the hallway.
You're gonna leave Dr. Evans inside and go
Oh
see
no,
what's going on?
I'm gonna open the door. Obviously, I'm just joking. Of course, just joking.
Of course.
Of course.
Um,
I would never do that to the doctor, to the good doctor.
She puts the hammer back in her pocket, and then she goes back into the lab, and she goes to Gabriel. Have you released the doctor from the room while I was gone?
Releasing the doctor as you walk back into the room. See, we were able to test the duration of the call. It's all working perfectly fine.
Yep, the system is working great. There's not a flaw in sight. I'm quite frankly amazed. This went far better than last time. I mean, yeah, we got a stable connection, no weird energy readings,
Nothing blew
nothing.
up.
I mean, we'll have to check to do a scan of things, but I think we're all set. We can begin the just begin the updates. The technology for this is already set up in all of the communicators, so just a standard software update, and everyone will have access to this. This is brilliant. I've got to get to work.
Yes.
I'm at work. I've got to keep working on it.
Question, what time of day is it?
That's what you're doing. Okay.
Morning. Let's say morning. Yes, I said it was sunny. It's the morning.
Avery will go to Gabriel and say, let me know when you're taking lunch. I need to talk to you about something.
The same time as always. Like when it's lunch time. I mean, I take time seriously, and I tend to arrive at places on the right time.
I'm gonna overlook the fact that you are sounding very judgy right now.
No.
And I am just gonna tell you that I need to pick your brain about something over lunch. I'll buy.
And that's a good point to cut, I guess. So we'll go over to the our
Cut
two
on
security
Gabriel just
officers.
looking judgingly.
Yeah, just again fading out on just a close up of Gabriel, just looking skeptical, and yeah. So back to our two security people. How are you traveling through the city to get to the blue spire.
Were we at least
You
given
just
some transport to the Blue Spire at this point?
It's walkable. There's like, I guess they've probably got there's water routes that Morrow could probably get through quite quickly. I imagine they've also got like some sort of almost like cycle hire sort of thing, probably with like scooters that you can kind of just sit down and leave somewhere and then go and pick up, like kind of, yeah. So there's those. There's no like, it's the city's probably big enough and stuff that you could use some motorbikes. There's not, unless you want to say the security division has some heavier transportation. It's probably just walking or cycling.
Just walk. Quite more or less just walking and talk. Quite more or less just walking at this point.
Yeah, or at least you can take some transportation, but once you get beyond a certain point, you're stuck walking and or swimming. And Morrow, are you
no,
walking or
Maru's
swimming?
walking at the moment because he wants to talk to his apparent new partner.
So what's your story there, Rook?
This, according to our legends, this used to be maybe our city, but the security, most mer people are kind of just into science or kind of hanging out. So I volunteered to help with the security with navigating places and kind of figuring out what might be dangerous to deal with before touching.
Oh, someone to handle more of the paperwork. Great. I could put more of it on you. I could put more of the paperwork for you then to do.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Do you ever get confused when you're walking? I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You need to walk. You need to walk a beat, anyways. At least from what I've seen on your dossier, you spent far too long working inside. Is that correct?
Yeah, mostly.
Then we'll get into.
As you're chatting, you'll come up towards. As you go on, the area becomes more run down and broken. It looks like you're walking along a path by a river with taller buildings on either side of you, and the edges of them have kind of collapsed over the path in front of you. And directly beyond that is the blue spire that you need to get to. Yeah, so you're stuck. You're gonna have to clamber over some stuff, or through some stuff, or under some stuff, or find another way around.
So Fenrir takes a moment. So there's like a vehicle like tipped over and stuff like that. Is there like a vehicle tipped over or something that he could like clamber onto?
No, but it's like a pile of rubble, so you could probably just clamber over it. There'd be, yeah, this area is not really like the main road stopped a while back. Yeah.
Fenrir goes up to rubble and starts trying to clamber over it. Clamber over at least to get on top.
Okay, let's go get an athletics check, and I'll say the target number is 12.
D20. I only have a D20, so.
Okay, you've just got athletics. Okay. Don't know if you've got anything that will be extra helpful, but if you've just got the D20, that's roll it with a snag.
So D20 roll with a snag. Okay.
If he's trying to clamber up, I'll help him up.
Yes. So, Mo, if you're going to be helping, that will provide an edge, which will cancel out the snag. So, just a plain D20 roll.
Just plain D20 roll. Okay.
Yep.
18.
18. All right. With a helping hand, you are able to clamber up to the top, and I think probably with that you can also reach your hand back down to help
As
move up if you want to.
Muro, as you start to climb up, you grab the other hand, and it doesn't feel fleshy. It doesn't feel like it feels very like something's not right.
Muro's going to kind of, he's gonna kind of look and see if maybe reach out and touch your other hand and see if that's just how your species feels.
Almost the other one's almost metallic in feeling in nature compared to the little scaly, fleshy. Right.
Huh.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so
We will. Yeah.
yeah, from you've now got a bit more of a vantage point over this area, and you can see that the blue spire has the top of it has partially collapsed. There's still like a central column of blue stone glass kind of stuff going through the center that seems to be fully intact, but yeah, a lot of the higher levels have a lot of rubble over them, partially collapsed. There look to be some windows up there that you could potentially go through from your position on top of this pile of rubble. You could maybe clamber up onto the side of some buildings and go through there. But otherwise, the main entrance has just completely collapsed, like a big stone block has almost fallen down in front of it. That's not going to be easy to get through. You know also that there'd probably this place is a bit of a ruin. It's likely that there's a leak somewhere and it's potentially flooded at the lower levels. So there might be another way in there. But the signal has been coming. The signal you've been told about has been coming from about from the center of this spire on one of the slightly lower levels, kind of the ground floor. Level with where you are at the moment.
I pull my weapon out of its holster, the revolver type weapon out of its holster. I press a button, and the muzzle extends out, and I look through the scope and try to see if I could see anything else. Make out at least any sort of movement, if anything else, make its way to the spire.
Okay, so quick alertness roll then.
Yep.
See if you pick anything up.
I do have perception as a specialization, so I roll both the D2 and the D4.
You get the specialization from that. Yeah, and you'll D20 and then the highest of the D2 and D4.
Jesus, that's... I rolled an 18, but my D2 is a 1 and my D4 is a 1, so 19.
So I guess relevant things you will also... This is something I haven't tracked and I've forgotten about, but you saying 1 has reminded me. You get story points. I'm not entirely sure how I want to track them, but I believe story points can be used to re-roll a 1 on one of your dice.
Yes.
Slightly better can
I'm not going to...
As well as other things. Yeah, you probably don't want to, but...
how many do we start with story points wise?
1 per player. And then the GM also has story points equal to 1 per player.
Okay.
You have to track your own story points, Ben. Sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. I get that.
Nice.
I was going to track them for the team, but it's fine.
Well, there are 5 of you, aren't there?
Yeah. I have mine written down here. Okay, so 19.
Okay, yeah, 19. You can see... Yeah, with this roll, I'll say you're able to find... Like, there's no one else seems to be in the vicinity. Yeah, it seems to be pretty much clear, like no one else has come down this way. And you can, with that roll, you can probably help pick out some closer areas that you could, some walls you could climb through or whatever. You'll get some, I'll give you an upshift on whatever rolls the two of you make to try and get into this place.
I actually was going to ask if people mind if we use a story point. Murrow is a very eager person, and so I would like him to have a cool tech grappling hook to latch onto whichever window seems sturdiest for us to climb in.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, through one of the windows up on the higher floors, you can, yeah, shoot. Femra will point out the ideal spot, and Morrow will bring out a grapple, spend your story point, and take a shot. And I say you probably you don't need to roll for that. You can just set that up and get climbing.
All right. Do you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go. Sure, I'll go first. So I'm rolling as if it had a shift on athletics, then correct?
Yeah, so in this case, that would make it a flat d20 roll.
Yeah.
Assistance. It's going to be like let's say 8 difficulty. You've got
8
a nice sturdy rope. Climb up.
As a yeah, I'm gonna spend that story point. Let me re-roll that. Jesus Christ. That's no, that's cocked. That's a natural 1.
Okay, so I'm guessing, yeah, you will fail.
That's a story point, though.
Yes. All right. Yeah, you do get a story point from natural ones.
Okay. Okay, good. I get that point back
Oh,
then. Because good
read
lord.
you some
That's what
value
we
there.
call recycling. Good job, everybody.
Yeah, spend a point to make a point.
Nice.
Yeah. So. Yeah, you'll grab hold of this rope and the grapple, and as you climb up, something gets knocked loose from wherever it was being fastened to, and you end up swinging kind of down from your position on top of the rubble, just slam into the side of the wall. You can just about hang on to the rope. But yeah, here we go. I'll give you a choice. You can either take 1 damage as you slam into the side and you keep your grip and you hold on and everything stays in place, or in a panic you flail for the wall. You don't take the damage, but you pull the rope away and you kind of take out with the strength of your fall, you end up taking out part of you tear the grappling hook loose from where it is and take out part of
I'll take the 1 damage.
Okay, so you're just able to cling on, and yeah, you take damage, and I'll say you can just kind of, from here, you can slowly and carefully climb up the wall through the hole in the window.
Sorry, the human shows about this make it look way easier to do that.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Ow. Just keep pulling myself up when I slam into the wall.
Do I still have edge or an upshift to try and climb up there, or has the rope been shook too much?
No, you've still got the upshift for that. So you can still
I
climb up.
toss the rope back at that point.
All right, and 8, 10. What's the difficulty say? I'm just
8.
using the rope 20. What the heck? Our
Okay.
rolls are, we're getting these weird rolls out of exploration, apparently.
So yeah, you don't injure yourself, but you kind of slip and
Like, can I catch him? Can I try to catch him?
No, he slips. He slips too early on. Like you don't fall far, and you don't dislodge the rope, but you're kind of stuck there, and you make a loud like there's a combined with like the thud from earlier. As you land, there's Fenrir. You're through the window, and inside this building you can see this column of, again, dim blue glass that goes straight up through the middle of the building, and a spiral staircase that works its way around it. And on the floor just below you, you think you see something moving. There's like maybe not a figure or anything like that, but there's some lights. There's some things are turning on. Some lights going online. There's, yeah, you can take the time to help mow up, and you can get through like that with just enough attempts. But if you do so, that will leave a bit more time for whatever's waking up to wake up.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Muro up.
Okay. And so you'll help mow up, and as you slowly presumably take the first few steps downwards to see what's in the room below, you find now as you step in, there's another room full of consoles, kind of similar to the lab room, but instead of being built around an empty chamber, it's built around this core of blue glass. But this time, you can see the beginnings of a glow from inside it. It's lighting up, and the glow's building. The consoles around the wall are...
Muro, is that normal?
No, it's
See what
actually on.
See what you can do.
Intruders.
See what you can do. Try
New life forms.
try shut it off. I'll try see what you can do to shut it off. Stationary.
No. And
Nope.
there's a voice just says no, and if you try and reach for it, there's a sort of jolt of electricity that doesn't it's more like a warning. If you try to reach for the consoles, it doesn't hit you, it just kind of sparks and flickers off it, like it's trying to ward you away. And at that point, I think we're going to cut to a landing helicopter with Mariana stepping out, presumably. Right, well, that's your ride. I've got a call for something else. I've got Dr. Evans. Apparently, his beep 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 beep, his communicator beeps,
Wow.
and right, yeah. Well, his test was successful, so we'll be rolling out the new update. He wants me to just run some shipments of the new stuff he needs for that down to his lab, and yeah, that should all be good. So you just step down out here. I'll be off.
Okay. I appreciate it so much. Pleasure to meet you, Charlie. Thank you.
Not a problem. And just so you know, my name's Charlie. You can also, people call me Checkpoint. That's kind of my call sign. Because of old Checkpoint Charlie being like I think it's a Cold War sort of thing. And also because like Charlie being the phonetic alphabet is like a little weird to call someone Charlie when also everyone's going like Alpha, Bravo, Foxtrot, and Charlie. And then it's like, are you talking to me or did you see something beginning with C? And it's confusing. But they call me Checkpoint anyway because of that, Checkpoint Charlie, and also because I'm always there when you need a save. So, you can always count on old Checkpoint. Anyway, I'm off. So have a good one.
Yeah, you as well.
He'll just, as you back off, he'll set the blades going and pick up off to another landing pad in the city. And setting down here near the main spire. Actually, you will be greeted by Commander Thorpe is walking up to you. You've probably seen her picture. you certainly, if you've done your research, you will have got a
Yes.
small little biography on her. Actually, you can make a some kind of like culture roll probably
Yeah.
for some research you might have done.
Awesome. So I do have a specialty on that. So let me Awesome. That is a 19.
Okay. Yeah, 19 will definitely succeed. So the main thing you know from her is the main thing you know about her is that she used to be a Nasada test pilot. The kind of stuff
Ooh.
she worked on was very highly classified kind of things, but from what you know, there was some kind of like she quit about 3 years ago and signed up with the Atlantis initiative. But NASADA, for those not in the know, being a space agency, NASA with a DA at the end. But yeah, she did some kind of test pilot work for them, got quite high in the ranks, and then at some point left and got a job with the Atlantis initiative. And she's kind of been a fairly like sort of respectable figurehead sort of thing of like the person you hire and put in charge because it's like, oh yeah, I kind of know that person. That's like she's sort of like, oh yeah, one of the astronaut people. That kind of level of famous of
Right.
not necessarily everyone knows, but like it lends a bit of respectability to an organization when someone like that is in charge of operations and stuff. So anyway, she's walking towards you with again like a notepad tablet kind of thing.
Okay. I think noticing her coming up to me, Mariana's going to like feel around for her pockets and then like pull out a hair tie and like pull her wavy hair back into like a high ponytail. Just so that she looks more militarily professional since she's showing up in like a tank top and joggers.
Miss Trench, that's your new recruit.
Yes, hi. It's a pleasure to be here. And she kind of like goes into a salute, not knowing what to do with her hands.
She kind of half salutes back. We don't really do that here much, but it's. I guess you can also make some sort of persuasion or deception check here, just to see if she likes you.
Sure. I will do a persuasion. I have a specialty on that. I call it the old razzle dazzle.
Nice.
What was I trying to meet or beat?
Oh, let's say a 12.
Awesome. I got a 15.
Okay. Yeah, she's like, yeah, don't see many salutes around here, but it's good to see a bit of professionalism. Glad to see some of that discipline in action. We have a mixture of. Some of the people here are very disciplined, others not so much. She says, thinking of one person in particular. And right, well, let's get you. I assume you've seen most of the orientation material. To catch you up to speed, we discovered Atlantis, solar city, about a year ago. A team of divers uncovered it and with the aid of the merfolk, we were able to restore it to some basic functionality. And from there, its gravity engines engaged, and we were able to lift it up to the surface where it's currently floating now. The city was basically entirely flooded when we found it. It was at the bottom of the ocean, but there were some shielding capabilities left that would manage to keep pockets of air in the city. And we could have cleared out all the water here, but essentially as thanks to the merfolk, you have been briefed on the merfolk, right?
Yes, it was a very general overview, but yes, I have been informed about the merfolk.
Well,
Very excited to work with them.
Yes, Neptune is their ruler here. He's our he used to be their king. He abdicated a few years back, which is apparently something kings can do if they want to.
Wow.
But just saying. But yeah, and that was. Yes, he abdicated, and his daughter, now Queen Marina, took charge of the Merfolk in his stead, and he's come and joined us as a sort of ancient history translator and consultant for us. Basics on the Merfolk: they need salt water to survive. They swim in salt water. So we've left portions of the city. We haven't bothered clearing it all of all the water around here because it gives them somewhere to live, and it means they can be a part of the city with us and a part of this expedition. Of also note, you may have seen this, a lot of them, most of them, nearly all of them, can walk on land. They can swap their tails. They've got a tail, and they can swap it essentially just for human legs, so that for all intents and purposes they look roughly human. But they can't keep this up indefinitely. Only a couple of hours usually before they start to get the need to return to the water, or you get some very bad side effects. But that's something hopefully you shouldn't need to worry about. They usually take care of themselves. Let's run down. We think the city's 12,000 years old, roughly, or at least we think that's when it arrived here, based on geological evidence at the bottom of the sea where we found it.
Okay.
I think that's the basics. It's got some kind of old technology, and it's gonna sound crazy, but it's aliens built it. It came from outer space. It's got some kind of link to the morphing grid that the Power Rangers and similar forces use to power their technology, or at least that's what we've been informed, and that's our understanding of the situation. That's
Okay.
the
Well,
briefing. Any questions? One last thing. Your communicator.
fantastic. Thank you.
With the latest updates, courtesy of Dr. Evans.
Oh, good. Okay.
He's our chief scientist.
Good to know. Will he be who I report to directly for archiving, or?
No, archiving is a slightly different department, technically actually under the purview of Neptune as part of the historical cataloging, but you'll be reporting directly to insert name here, to a young man. I almost said Charles, but that's already a character's name. Stephen Brown. So Mr. Brown will handle administrative facilities for you, and he in turn reports directly to Mr. Neptune.
Okay. Fantastic. Is there any place that you would like me to report now or drop this off? She says, lifting like her pack. I'm excited to get started.
Yes, you should have your communicator actually should be already. If you just you should have been given a login and an account number. You
Yep.
can enter that in, and it will have a handy map. Dialing code for that is 775. Just to access that, you've got a standard smartphone thing, but you can also access different functions by using the number pad here. There's a tutorial video loaded up already. You can just go through that in your own time. But you'll be able to access map functions that will show you to where your locker is and your own quarters. And your locker will be by your quarters, and there's also a locker in your quarters as well.
Excellent. Is it bunks? Not that I have a preference. I'm here.
You'll probably be in bunks, but we're regularly expanding. most likely within a week you'll have somewhere new to live if you want it.
Okay.
There's plenty of room in this place.
It doesn't look like you're hurting for space, so that's great. All right. Is there anything you need from me, or should I just head out?
You can head out. Yeah, I might need you to go check. I'll send you something later. Just get yourself set up. Early tasks. While Checkpoint's working on some things, let's see if we can set you up. Because you know Checkpoint.
Yep.
You'll have met him. You can run some of the logistics stuff for him because he's got some supplies coming in up at the north landing pad. So he's going to do a couple of runs, but he'll be there at some point, probably later today. And I appreciate it. Well, your job is to be there and run through catalog what he's bringing, make sure all of the files get sorted and everything's properly in the right containers and so on and so forth.
Excellent.
And again, I'll send full details to your communicator.
Okay. Awkwardly, I'll be
Or
waiting for your
rather,
text.
Mr. Brown will.
Okay, I'll be waiting for his text. Perfect. I will head out now. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, a pleasure indeed. And she walks off and kind of takes out a communicator of her own, like looking at this pad and takes out a communicator of her own and says, "Okay, no, I told you that blah 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 blah. No, we needed that 3 hours ago. Can you rush that just a little bit? Okay, great, thank you." And off she goes. So I
Perfect.
think probably next scene you're going to go and hang out in your room and do things, and later on, presumably unless you've got other sneaking around you want to do, go help out Charlie, and we'll cut over to, but I'll give you some time to think about that, and we'll cut over to the dining room, probably for lunchtime, where a conversation is going to happen. So there's a cafeteria. I presume you two are meeting there, unless you've got some other place you hang out for lunch.
I was thinking of having lunch outside, away from people, like a
Yeah, there's
picnic.
plenty of open air spaces in the city.
And as soon as we get there, obviously there's going to be some actual lunch, but also Avery pulls out the hammer and she says, "I was doing some exploring last week, doing that thing where I go where I'm not supposed to go. Check this out."
So
Don't tell him.
every time. When are you doing something you're not supposed to?
I mean, yeah, but look, this time I found shows Gabriel the hammer. Is it still blinking?
No, actually, the blinking stopped.
Oh.
It was blinking earlier. I was going to ask your help to see if you had any idea what it might be doing, but
it's blinking, so it's technology based then.
Yeah, it was blinking when I was in the lab.
Oh.
It must have been responding to something.
Weird that
in the lab.
Looks like a hammer. Can I take a look at it?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
And I hand him the hammer.
I'm gonna grab it, take a look around, like. Okay.
Yeah, it's archaic. You can do some kind of investigative, culturally check if you want to try and, or technology kind of check to analyze it a bit. But yeah, you could do technology. But
would my my expertise Apply.
Yeah. What I'm gonna say is actually before you,
Hmm.
as you pick it up and you start to investigate it. Yeah. Actually, make the roll first.
Sure.
Technology roll. You asking about expertise in?
A morphing grid.
Yeah, that will work. That will. I mean, you wouldn't know that that's relevant, but
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, just mechanically, I get an edge then.
Yep.
What's the difficulty?
Let's go with 12. I like 12 as a number.
Mm,
Feels nicer to me than 10 as a difficulty.
21.
Yeah, okay. It doesn't take you long to recognize something that you've seen in quite a few of the technology. Like, it's very similar in technological design to a lot of the stuff in this city. And in particular, the things that connect to the morphing grid. There's some pieces of technology that are just like, here's a watch, and here's a clock that tells the time, and here's something that counts numbers, and here's a dispenser for things. And they all just work like normal pieces of technology, but kind of alien. And then there's some, usually like power sources and things like that, that have a connection directly into the morphing grid. And that's what you and Dr. Evans and the team have been, you've been studying that stuff a lot in order to create the communicator.
Yeah.
It's got some kind of innate link into it. And I'm going to give you a free guess because you rolled very high. The reason it started blinking at the same time as you were doing your morphing grid test.
Because we're connected to the grid.
Yeah.
Using the grid. Oh.
So that activated it by the sounds of it, or at least made it less dormant.
Where did you find it?
Feel free to make up a place.
So I was exploring the Blue Spire, and I found it in the rocks nearby. And they seemed like some sort of ruin, like really old stuff. You know, I love old stuff. I studied archaeology, so this was really cool. And I picked it up, and I don't know, it just started blinking at me and buzzing in the lab.
Yeah. I think it started blinking because we are using the morphing grid. This has some connection to it. I can see similarities in how we've been trying to make the connection work.
You know what we gotta do, right? We gotta sneak into the lab after hours and see, and test it out. See if we can actually connect with it to the morphing grid directly.
I mean, why do we need to sneak in? I already have access to the lab.
Yeah, but I don't want other people to see this. This is really cool. I don't want it to be taken away. Like,
I mean, we can just go when no one else is there. We don't need to sneak
That-
in. I'm just gonna access you.
Okay, fine. You make it sound so much less fun. Okay, fine. We won't sneak. We'll do,
Fun.
I don't know. We'll work overtime if that makes you feel better.
No.
Okay. So you really think this can connect to the morphing grid, like
Oh, yeah.
the communicators and everything?
Yeah, and I'm gonna hand back the hammer and pick up my communicator and can I try and mess with it to see if I can activate the morphing grid stuff to see if the hammer reacts in any way?
Yeah, so you could just call someone through the communicator, and if it's a proximity-based thing, it should do something. You could also, if you want to make a roll, probably just the same roll you made before of technology with your expertise,
Try and connect to the hammer.
you can try and call the hammer.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'm going to try that. That sounds fun.
Okay, so I'm going
Yeah.
to say it's probably a little more difficult.
Mhm.
Difficulty 15.
Okay, 15.
You've rolled well so far.
Yeah, let's see. 19.
Yeah, that's rolling well.
I like that the skill die is always 1.
Yeah, you. Yeah, a 20 and an 18 on your d20s for this. And presumably you're very skilled, but you still haven't got a good skill die result on any of them.
Details.
So, yeah, you give it a call and enter a 3-digit dialing code and play around with the settings a little bit, push a couple buttons, and the hammer begins flashing again. But instead of the beeping, the flashing lights forming a regular once a second pattern, they start picking up in speed quite quickly until they're fully on. And
Whoa.
then you hear a voice not through your communicator, but from directly out of the hammer, going, "Oh, you're new." And that's where we're going to take our break. So,
Okay.
Hey,
yeah, let's
that's
have some
great.
water,
Um,
take some breaks, walk.
What time do we want to? What time do we? What time? Oh,
Okay, do you guys want to take like a 5 or a 10? How much do you guys need? We'll do 10.
Let's do 10. Yeah.
And 10's
Yeah.
probably best just to give us all
Mhm.
the extra time.
Mhm.
All right.
so it's okay to off cameras. So.
Hold on a sec. Right. So we'll be back after this break and we'll see if this hammer does anything cool.
Who's talking? Am I bringing us back from break?
Yeah, that's
Yep,
you,
okay,
man. You're the GM. You run this
Okay,
show.
I'm the GM. Right, wonderful. So we're back from break. Where we left off was with some people phoning a hammer, and now we're going to go back to some people in a room and cut off to a different scene. So our Merfolk and our Syrian are have just gone down a spiral staircase into a room with a large blue glass column rising up from the center. There's consoles around the walls that are lighting up and waking up, and as like a noise saying intruder, and as you begin to try and figure out what's going on, it just says no, and sparks fly from the consoles. What are the two of you doing?
This moment I pull out a USB-like device from the inside of my jacket, and I just look, and I look at Muro, just what you see. Just don't say very much afterwards to anyone.
Sure.
The drive activates, just called Orca, and then slots it into his weapon.
Okay, so that's okay. Sorry, there wasn't the route I was planning going down this. I like it though. So you engage with this thing. Yeah. Okay. Let's go full. So you're inserting it into your weapon.
Yes.
Okay. This system recognizes that it's what starts off as like intruder symbols. Yeah, what starts off as like intruder alarms stops, and it recognizes something, and before the system before what you're doing can complete itself, yeah, there's a pause, and like it recognizes you as a friend, basically. I'm going to say you don't do full morphing stuff
No.
quite yet, but the system stops engaging with intruder and recognizing, booting, initiating. Greetings, I am Adira, the Artificial Defense Intelligence for Ranger Activation, Assessment and Assistance.
You spell that in chat. Can you spell that in chat, please, for my notes?
Adira, Adira. Or with Adira with 3 A's at the end. But yes.
Thank you.
So my programming and initial assessment of your technology indicates a preference for human and anthropomorphic naming systems. Thus, you may call me Adira, as it stands for Automated Defense Intelligence for Ranger Assessment, and Activation. Do you have any defensive needs at present?
No, but the moment things start coming to life like this, that is of concern.
Yeah. So to clarify, this is the consoles on the wall, the thing that's lighting up. This is Adira that's booting up, kind of. Probably instinct is that Adira is kind of a separate system to this. Based on what you know of these pillars, I guess you don't really know. None of you really know much about what goes on here. Yeah, the Adira is coming from the consoles. It's kind of linked with this, but also kind of not. Yeah.
Excuse me, Adira, are you turning on at the other towers too?
No, I am. Morphing grid activity has localized morphing grid activity has been detected. I am awakened to aid in the defense of this city. Long-range sensors indicate a threat is approaching.
Can you bring it on screen, please?
Confirm designation, gathering Fenrir Kerberos, analyzing data, acceptable candidate.
Yes.
And
I cannot explain how I got this spell. If you wish an explanation how I got this, I can explain that later.
yeah, this. Yeah, it will bring up on the screens a yeah, right. It brings up on the screen. It's something none of you have seen before. The city has various defense systems and long-range scanners. This seems to be like an extra long-range scanner, but also it's rapidly like decreasing in range. And at the edge of this thing is a dot that is blinking, and like on a radar grid, but in this case, the scale of it is rapidly shrinking. What was kind of what was planet or what was just empty space. Gradually, as this thing gets closer, you begin to make out the Earth and your position on the Earth compared to this thing, and the Earth gets larger. And as the minutes pass by, you'll begin to recognize that this thing is not just approaching Earth, but it's actually in the skies above Earth, presumably. Something's approaching the city at a rapid pace. You don't know what. All it's showing up is a bleep. But
Rook, can you see if you can get the commander?
Yeah, are the comms working?
so
Comments
let's make some chaos happen. The comms, you try the conventional communicators. Actually, neither of you two have had your communicators upgraded yet. So your conventional communicators are being jammed. They're not getting through to anyone else in the city right now.
Lovely. Are you? I think you're good here. I can probably swim back faster than our walking was.
You can. Adira, are you able to get communications going outward?
Designate who do you wish me to communicate with? I
commander.
detect large presence of accessing your Atlantis Initiative databases, scrolling, cataloging your species. It's species plural. Your species are curious and unusual to me. Taking time to reacquaint, analyzing language,
Look,
reassessing.
we don't have time to go through all that. Just can you
Commander
get a
locate.
There,
Communications linked established. Do you require emergency defense protocols?
yes.
Engaging emergency defense protocols. And again, at the same time, the commander is on. Who is this? What's going on? The whole city's gone into some kind of. We're getting alarms all over the place.
Commander, we have reason to believe, at least according to whatever this city's, at least according to this AI.
What AI? The city doesn't have an AI that we're aware of.
We need. Shoot, out of character. I forgot the doctor's name, but
Dr. Evans.
we need Dr. Evans at the Blue Tower right away. There's an ancient AI that just awoke, and something's coming.
A very
All
large
right, I'll send him
incursion.
there. Right. Okay. I'll get Dr. Evans there. Everyone else. No, I'll send an escort. I'll send someone. Someone needs to go with him. Whoever's closest. All right. And yes. Okay. He's by the cafeteria, so those two. They'll do. Okay. Everyone else to the storm shelters.
Oh.
Inside the command center, any other secure locations, shut down, lock down the shields. Dr. Evans and team to the blue spire on the double. And she sends out these commands and these orders. And I think we'll go over to... Yeah, let's move over on to Avery and Gabriel. I could just look at the stream if I need to remember names. But
But that's
so,
cheating.
anyway, yes. So
That
we'll
is
move back to them.
cheating.
The hammer says is like this. So a couple of minutes earlier, the hammer is like, you are. Oh, you're new.
You're old.
I mean, he's not wrong. You're very old. I found
Little rude,
you.
but okay.
He's not wrong. Sorry about that.
I mean, it's not rude.
I mean, that's fair. He's also kind of rude.
I was
Very
just
smart, but not really good with people.
saying-
Anyway, hi. I'm
Hi.
Avery, and this is my friend Gabriel, and we just wanted to know more about you. I guess we don't have to guess. You could just tell us.
Sure, why not? Haven't talked to anyone in 12,000 years. I've got nothing better to do. I'm Carcharodon. That's my name. It's what people have called me. I'm a hammer. I can't remember too much more than that at the moment. I'm kind of missing some things. There was some damage sustained during the attack.
What attack?
Oh, the attack 12,000 years ago. The whole reason that this
You're
place is like this.
I
It's
mean-
not like this anymore, though, is it? Huh. It's kind of like, it sounds like it's looking around, but also it doesn't. Like, I guess it's that the lights in its eyes kind of move around like eyeballs glancing around the like pupils looking around the room.
Yeah. We don't exactly know what happened 1,200 years ago.
We've been trying to learn more about it.
Well, I could probably. Well, I could tell you more, but I'm kind of missing an important part of not my memories. Like, I've got some memories, but also I don't. So that's kind of all irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Who are you? Did you introduce yourselves?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
you did. Good. Gabriel
Avery.
and Avery.
Avery. Yep.
Wait,
Okay, that way round. Good, got it.
Yeah. Mhm.
try again. Sorry. What? You can do it. It's okay.
Avery and Gabriel. Okay.
Yes.
So, right. Well, yeah. I'm Carcharodon, a hammer. I can. I guess I don't know. I'm a function. I can do things. Do you want to? I don't know much. I need kind of my memory access core. I've been here for 12,000 years. That about sums it up. Is there anything you'd like to? And then alarms blare around you
Oh.
throughout the city.
no.
Lights that you lights ensconced in the wall that you've never before seen turn on start flashing yellow. And
Yellow.
like hazard lighting.
Hey,
stuff.
so how much of an emergency is it for you to get your memory core back? Because something's happening. Do you need it right away?
I mean, I've waited 12,000 years.
What's a few more hours?
I can wait a
Okay.
little longer, but I don't know. I like it. I might be a bit more useful with it.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
So-
I don't know where it is. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's probably in a storage device somewhere. I imagine if you could get me into a computer, it could probably download a new one. Maybe if it's still around, mine might have been lost beyond comprehension. But yeah, what can you do?
Okay. I know all emergency. Okay, 5 seconds. I can.
And 3, 2, 1, you get a call from Commander
Damn
Thor.
it.
So,
Okay.
okay, we need
Okay, dude.
Avery.
Wait, does it
and
come to me? Does it come to me?
It comes
Okay.
through your communicators, through your
Oh,
new
both of us.
reconfigured communicators, both of you. Avery and Gabriel, your Dr. Evans is on his way. Something's been discovered in the Blue Spire in the north. I need you. Dr. Evans is on his way. Get him there. I know I can count on the two of you to do this, even though I probably shouldn't. But I know you're. When push comes to shove, Avery, you will do a good job. I trust you. I can count on you now. Get out there, stay safe, keep Dr. Evans safe, and get back here. The rest of us will be in the storm shelters. The moment you find out what's going on, make your way to one. Do you understand?
Understood, Commander. And then she kind of says, like, quietly, like, be careful, Mom. And then she hangs
Always.
up. And then she hangs up. It looks like we have our orders. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll make
Let's
sure
go.
you don't get distracted by some rock or something.
That's rude, but also accurate. Let's go find your dad. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, your communications and stuff will guide you to his position fairly quickly. The reason you
guess.
guys were chosen was because you were near him. The cafeteria is near the science lab, we'll say.
Mhm.
And you guys you can all head up in that direction. Dr. Evans, I don't know what's been discovered yet. There's something up there, some kind of AI, something that might hold the key to whatever's going on here.
I'm not.
Looks like the city's got some kind of long-range sensors, but we're not even able to access them from the command center at the moment. So the only advanced warning we have is in the Blue Spire.
Oh.
So better be quick.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
And then another crisis happens. Something else comes over your communicators. And this is like a general broadcast. Mayday, Mayday, going down. This is checkpoint. I've taken a hit. Crashing north side of the city. Probably. Oh no. And then it cuts.
Do me and Murrow receive this at this
Yep,
point?
you'll all receive that. And by that point, the dot is not just over the city, it's not like it's basically on top of the city. That dot is now more carefully resolved as a plane or a spaceship of some kind. Big, jagged fins, very sharp angular lines that kind of like fade away. It's like cloaked in shadow almost. So it's trailing this. So even though the ship itself is very sharp and stark lines, it's trailing a slight cloud that means that the edges all seem quite misty and are hard to make out.
It's useless here. Adira, is there anything that we can? Is there any sort of manual control out here that we can do to help, or at least a way to be able to leave here?
Activate the defense protocols. Initial defense protocol would take approximately 3 of your months to find, catalogue, and assess proper candidates for testing, and
We don't have time for 3
assessment
months.
and activation and assistance.
We don't have time for 3 months at this point.
You wish to initiate full emergency defense protocols.
Initiate emergency protocols right now.
Engaged. Searching for Ranger capabilities. Red spectrum. Suitable candidate detected. Syrian. Fenrir Kerberos. And it prints out a it prints out a little chip, a USB drive thing, similar to what you pulled out before. And it says like in morphine grid intelligence linked and engaged. Insert into acceptable device for final insert into acceptable device for to engage morphine sequence. Blue spectrum. Searching for suitable candidates. Changes merfolk detected. Morrow.
Wait, what?
Candidacy suitable. Spectrum shift initiated. Purple Ranger. Morrow. And it inserts out another chip. Another little USB drive comes out. Engage with communicator or appropriate device to activate morphine grid sequence. Searching. Black spectrum. Searching suitable candidates. Candidate found. Data incongruity. Assessing. Candidate. Mariana Trench. Black Ranger. Or Obsidian Ranger, or whatever. Probably just Black Ranger. And it prints out another USB drive thing. Please hand to Mariana Trench. Insert previous instructions also apply. And again, moves on. Gonna have to go through all the colors. Pink spectrum. Searching. Suitable candidate located. Gabriel Evans. Assessing. Candidate suitable. Printing out Pink Ranger, Gabriel Evans. Prints out prints out another little USB. Please hand to Gabriel Evans. Assessing green spectrum. Error. Green spectrum connection damaged. Severe repairs needed. Beyond damage to other systems. Green Ranger inactive. Gold
Green
spectrum.
Wait,
Searching.
what?
Error. Existing morphing grid technology detected. Unexpected, but useful. Analyzing spectrum. So I'm going to have to check the... What color are you?
Silver.
Officially. Silver.
Silver.
Silver Ranger. Avery Thorpe. And it prints out another little USB. Ranger defense protocols activated. Preparing stage 2. And it's like there's a little loading bar, basically. 1%.
Oh, is it the super
Oh,
slow loading bar that takes
1%.
forever?
And
Just a little tippy tappy more, and then we can have our ranger.
there's a very slow loading bar for stage 2 something, but looks like let's okay. Instructions. Ranger morphing sequence is linked to DNA and voice code activations. A vocal callout is required. The exact specifics is irrelevant, but for proper activation, insert this USB key into an appropriate receptacle and engage morphing grid link via vocal callout and button presses. You have buttons. So, I guess we'll go over to probably, let's visit our soon-to-be Black Ranger. Mariana is probably heading. I mean, it's just gone lunch, so what's she doing at this point before all the emergency goes down?
I think she made her way to her locker, didn't even bother going into her bunk, just threw her like actual bag into her locker, shoved it in there, and like pulled out like a little knapsack, like the fanny bags that people hang over their shoulders now, and just shoved her journal and her camera in there, and then took off in the direction of the northern helipad, but took the long way around to try and just get more sights in. And then I'm assuming like
Then
all of
alarms happen,
alarms happened,
and
she was
you've been issued with one of the new communicators.
yeah.
So that's you
And
get despite jamming signals taking place, blocking most of the conventional stuff, the morphing grid link through there is able to circumvent that, and so you hear checkpoint shouting Mayday and going down the northern city, and and also a call from the commander for all personnel not otherwise engaged to head for the storm shelters, which you haven't gone through full orientation to know what
Nope.
all of those are. From what she's saying, you can gather there's one in the central command station. You're a little bit far out from that, and there's probably some others elsewhere.
Okay. I think she was able to get the map to pull up properly enough to like go off course where she needed to go. But I think hearing checkpoints Mayday, she just kind of gets on like the general broadcaster and is like, this is Mariana, I'm avoiding safety shelters. I am going to checkpoint. If anyone can hear me, I am going to go check on checkpoint. And then she's going to try and figure out if she can like find where his communicator is to kind of head in that direction.
Negative. You receive like a call comes in. Negative. Head for a storm shelter immediately. You're not qualified.
Sorry, going through a tunnel. Trying to find where his communicator is on the map.
Okay. Yeah, you let's do some kind of check. Probably if you want to locate him. I guess you've got two options for locating him. You can do some technology thing and track his thing, or you can look for where it looks like a helicopter fell out of the sky. Or various other tactics.
I think she's not the most technologically oriented, so I think she's going to try and actually see if there's a plume of smoke or something where something would have just recently gone down.
Okay, so that'd be alertness.
Alrighty. What's the difficulty? 10? Okay.
Let's go with 10.
11.
Nice. Yeah, so you're able to pick up that. Yes, so you're able to pick up his signal, sort of smoke things. As you approach, it's clear that he's like crashed, but there's no fireball, thankfully. Looks like he managed to kind of regain control of it, and it skidded in a landing that's kind of left it. It hit one of the higher buildings, and one of the tracks on the bottom that it kind of lands on has half broken off, and it skidded and tipped, so it's kind of hanging on by the end, and half of it's dangling off just above a puddle of water, and the other half's just clinging to the top of this building that's near but not exactly at the blue spire.
Okay. I am going to head in that direction as fast as I can.
As you're running towards it, you'll also be able to see a shadow in the sky. Looks like whatever is a ship, presumably. More than just a shadow, it's very angular, jagged lines, and it pulls down and stops. It hovers over the roof of probably the blue spire, hovers around that area off to the side, stops, hovers just inches away from it. You think maybe a hatch opens, and then just shadow pours out of the hatch, wraps around the top of the spire, climbs inside, and then stops. You don't see any more sign, and the ship closes its hatch and takes off.
Okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the building, you all hear a great big rush of sound. Those who are in there. I imagine we're probably getting to the point where it's almost worth running this as kind of one thing that's happening simultaneously. So we've got. I'm not going to look on the screen. Gabriel and Avery are heading off with Dr. Evans, and they're running along, and they're probably coming at one angle. You're also seeing the crashed helicopter, because it's kind of off part of where, like, it's on. Basically, it's on the way to the Blue Spire. You're coming at it from like opposite parallel directions, with the spire as like a third point where you're all kind of equidistant from the helicopter crash, kind of forming like an equilateral triangle. And yeah, meanwhile in the building you can see what's going on and stuff like that. Like you can tell that something's happening. There's a noise above your head, like a sound of engines roaring, but high up on the spire, and then like a rush of wind almost, and then nothing.
All right, so we activated manual defenses at this point. I don't.
Error.
I look.
Defense turrets inoperative. Heavy weapons disengaged. Emergency ranger protocol is the last line of defense.
Murrow, your tech. Can you? Adira, can you act? Adira, do you have shoots or anything that can get us outside of here?
There is a system in place, however, it is presently inoperable. Manual transit system, automated transit system, non-viable at present.
No teleportation system either.
It repeats, automated transit system non-viable at present.
All right, Murrow, we have to go. We can't stay here.
Yep. I can probably locate the other two. I don't know who this Myrna woman is, though.
I'm not familiar either, but
It's actually very funny to me because the Queen of the Merfolk is called Marina, and it's just like someone with a name very similar has shown up.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but I'm assuming it's not her because she was
like
declared human.
It's like finding like I don't know, like a British person like being told to look for someone called Elizabeth. Like
Exactly.
Or it's like when I got cast in a game with a girl named Anna. Anna. It happened.
All right. You're not going to be able to follow me, and I'm going to jump into the stream you said was nearby. And
are you taking anything with you?
I will take 2 of the things and have the
So you took
land-based person.
Which 2 jars are you taking?
The 2 for the people I know the names of, so I can locate them because I know what they look like.
And then I'll hold on.
And presumably your own.
Yes.
I'll hold on to the the black drive, and Adira, just transmit suitable candidates to our devices, and we'll.
Engaged. Communicators, tracking candidates. Error. Communicators tracking rangers. Or there was a correction.
Correction.
Communicators tracking rangers.
Great. Let's go. Let's go. You go find the first two signs. I'll find the third. I'll find the third one.
Okay.
So.
Oh.
Start backtracking.
So where's everyone going? We've got one person definitely heading for checkpoint.
Mm-hmm. I am following the communicator for the black ranger drive, for black spectrum drive that I have.
Yeah, you're tracking that position, so
Yes.
you'd also know that they're heading towards where checkpoint is.
Yeah,
and actually, are the two other people? Where are Dr. Evans and Co going?
Presumably going to the Blue Spire, right? That's where we were told to go to check on the tech there or whatever.
Yeah,
so we're heading
to check the early warning system that definitely provided you enough notice.
Yeah, we're going in that direction as fast as possible, and Avery is probably ahead of everyone on her skateboard.
Okay, so yeah, the helicopter crash is visible from where you are.
Oh,
are
shit.
you redirecting to it, or are you still heading for the spire?
Okay, so the commander said go for the spire, correct?
Yes.
Like that was where the orders. Okay, yeah, she follows orders for a change and is continuing on her skateboard towards the Blue Spire.
Okay. From the direction you're approaching the Blue Spire, and then Morrow, you'll be tracking them, and so.
Yep.
Trying to figure out what order I want to deal with these things in. So let's say
Eeny, meeny, miny, ranger.
yeah, I guess I don't know. I'm rolling a dice. Haven't decided what the different numbers mean, but I'm going to roll a dice anyway, and that will decide things. Let's go, Morrow. You first. You managed to catch up with them before they get all the way into the Blue Spire. You catch up with them in a covered area where there's like a tunnel, an interior rather than an exterior location. So inside, like a large, not like hangar, but just large, open but still enclosed walkway space, and you're able to burst out of the water and catch up with them there.
Okay. Take these. Put them in your comm links. They apparently are going to let you morph? Question mark.
Dr. Evans looks at you and goes, "Oh. You might need these. Where's Fenrir?" And he pulls out two.
He's looking
he just pulls out one communicator.
He's looking for the other person who was chosen to be a ranger.
Okay, so who's a ranger? Am I a ranger?
He hands a drive
thought not.
to Avery and Gabriel, the correct color ones, as they were announced color-codedly.
You get a little. Avery? What have you done with the hammer? Are you still holding it?
No, I'm holding. Well, Oh, that's a good point. I was just holding the hammer and running or skateboarding with this hammer.
It's like, oh hey, and Hammer's like, oh hey, my
Is
better
it?
half,
Where
a
does it
memory
go?
core, or at least something close enough to a memory core.
Where does it go?
Where can it go? He's like, so there should be some kind of, I'm guessing, a port. I mean, right down below.
I
That's gonna sound bad, but
I'm sorry. Um. So where? Okay. So do I see anything where
yeah,
it
there
would be
was
a
a
port?
USB kind of sort of port
So is
section.
it on the head of the hammer or
Yeah,
like
I
on
guess
the
there'd
handle?
be there's probably multiple.
Under-
Let's say on the head because that's slightly better.
All right. I look at
You can plug that
Gabriel.
in there.
I look at Gabriel and I plug it in.
Mo, you'll need. He just
That's-
Dr. Evans grabs your communicator and like pushes a couple buttons and like, right, there's the update. That's set. One last. Just need to find Fenrir, and you've got. He again picks up your communicator, grabs it, transfers something onto his, and like hands it back, and he's like, right, and he runs off to go in the direction of the helicopter crash to go find Fenrir.
Okay.
Stay there. You've got this. Good job. I've got one more thing to do. So yeah, you insert the thing into the top of the hammer. Nothing happens yet.
Did it help? Is this the thing you're looking for?
I'm getting things back. Yeah, I mean, not really like full. I guess even this is a bit damaged, but I guess that's kind of to be expected. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm
I
back, baby.
That's great. Welcome back. I know it's been like 1,200 years. Cool.
12,000 extra
12,000.
zero.
Oh shit. Yeah. Okay. 12,000. Okay. Listen.
Trust me, it
I
might
know
not seem
you're.
like a big difference for you. It's a really big difference for me.
That's fair.
I really noticed those extra 10,000 years.
Okay, that's a good point. I know you said there were some things that needed repair. You're just gonna need to hang tight a little bit
repair
longer.
is fine. I'm good. You know, I might be missing a couple wheels, but I can still roll along. You know what I mean?
Sure. And she just nods at her hammer and she says,
You need to, if you want to activate
Gabriel,
the
we
sequence,
still
you
need to go to the
say
spire.
something.
Oh, right. I knew that.
And actually, you need to. It's like the two. I guess the two eye lights like sort of flick into buttons, maybe, or there's like a third button in the. Oh yeah, when you insert the USB drive thing, a little, I guess, kind of a nose or mouth sort of shape, like little circle where the eyes were kind of opens up, and there's a little button thing that you can then you push that and say a command phrase, and that will activate the sequence.
I don't. We were just told to go to the spire, right? Following orders.
Yes.
Are we okay? So we're taking Dr. Evans to the spire right now.
Dr. Evans has run off to go find Fenrir.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Plans appear to have changed. He seems to know what he's doing.
Well, okay, so here's the thing, right? I told you this part of the story, right, Gabe, where I found this hammer near the spire.
Yeah.
Near the blue spire.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm kind of stuck because I don't know what I went and followed orders, and now the game has changed. So,
As you are saying that, because I like saying as you're saying that, the lights begin to flicker. So you're in a little enclosed area, and it's lit by lights, and then they start flashing, and then like flickers at first, and then starts fading in and out and then they're off entirely. And then the lights turn back on. Make an alertness check, one or both of you, or all
Okay.
three of you. Any number of you can make an. All of you should make an alertness check.
Oh yeah, they has
I need to
mental
make a roll.
mental scores. Are you
One except
rolling?
me. Is that one except me? Because I
Yes,
separated.
everyone except you and Mariana, because you're somewhere else.
Ooh, I
So
actually
I'll
finally
I
rolled good.
might ask
Huzzah!
you to do the
What?
same thing in a little bit.
Gucci?
Oh, that feels bad.
Right. So, what have you all got?
Alertness, LK.
Yep. I have a snagging alertness, so
I have
Feels
an
bad.
18.
I rolled a 6.
So you got 18, a 6, and a 2.
yes.
Okay. The two of you don't notice anything wrong. Morrow, you're the only one who notices. When you look down, the lights flick back on, but they're dimmer than before, and all of you can notice that. But when you look on the ground, or you're casting shadows in the dim light, there's 4 shadows, and there's only 3 of you. And you notice that just in time as the shadow peels off the floor and the walls into a cloud of darkness that splits and separates into 4 humanoid forms. What starts off as clouds then condenses down. They seem to kind of become crisper around the edges. Like they look like people in green screen suits, but it's all black and dark greys mixed in. And there's as the clouds form down into people, there's 2 red spots, bright red eyes staring out of them. And that's the main feature that stays on its face. Not necessarily eyes, but kind of just like red blots where the eyes should be. And otherwise, it's a creature that's a mass of greys and blacks. And these 4 creatures kind of make this slippery, whispering sound, horrible, nasty noises that I've no idea how are going to come out on stream. But they, and 2 of them withdraw a kind of reach into a furl, almost like a hold in a cloak, but and pull out a dagger, a dark shadowy dagger. So let's move to the next group, because someone needs rescuing from a helicopter. I guess let's roll a dice to see who gets there first. Fenrir, you can see that Mariana's going towards the helicopter, and you're able to get up there first. And you can see inside the helicopter is dangling over the edge. Looks like a stiff breeze could potentially knock it over one way or another. And at the pilot's seat is what looks like an unconscious checkpoint.
So I activate my drive at that point.
Yes.
Just call out.
Yeah. Call out.
Just
something.
call out Midas, and I slot it into my weapon.
It begins to work. This has happened before. It's a similar issue to what you had with your last one, where something begins to happen. There's a red light begins to go around you, and it starts up, and then it flickers and it turns off. You're missing something. There's this is the problem that the testing stuff hasn't been able to recreate. There's a link to the morphing grid that's required, and you don't quite have it yet. Even with this key given to you, you're still missing something.
Slot puts it back in his jacket, and makes his way to the helicopter. Just call it. Anyone in there? Anyone?
Yeah, one person. It's me. Check. Point. He
I-
like groans, crushes a rib, and says, "Oh boy, not my day, huh?"
Are you Mariana? By chance?
No, She was in here earlier, but she got out like a couple hours ago.
I think at that, are you Mariana? And the conversation starting, Mariana starts like climbing up the little trellis and is like, "That's me. Hi,
All right.
Hey, Mariana, what are you doing here?
I'm saving you." Checkpoint.
I get.
Well, damn, huh?
get-
Ain't that a
I
thing?
get. I get. I'll just checkpoint. Just grab checkpoint key. Come on. Just like grab him.
Okay, let's go with some kind of athleticsy, mighty, brawny.
Oh, I'll go with
roll
might.
of some
I'm gonna
kind.
go with might for that because I actually have dice in it.
Or maybe acrobatics or something like that, but might's probably the.
Yeah, might's probably better. I don't have any specializations, so just D4. 15.
Okay, yeah,
That's a 13 and
will
a 2.
do it. You're able to kind of pick him up, yank him out of the seat under the stuff, and pick him up and start moving him towards the, yeah, grab him, take him out of the plane.
Then
Helicopter.
I circle back and Miss Mariana.
Yeah. Hi.
I help her up.
I'm so sorry I didn't go to the safety area.
No,
I didn't think they would send a security guard after me.
It's fine. It's fine. We will talk about that later, but that is not as important. And I take out my jacket, hand you a USB drive looking device. What is it that you do for a living, by chance?
Archivist. That's what I do here.
You could see the visual. You could see the visual. There's like a very sort of sense of, oh no. I take out my rifle and I start just looking behind me real quick, see if anything's coming true. I'm not pointing at any of you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, good call. That some ship landed on the spire and unloaded gas and then left.
Great. I look to checkpoint. Checkpoint, correct? I looked at checkpoint. Is it?
Yep, that's me, boss.
Are you able to get to? Are you able to get to a shelter?
Maybe not on my own. Think my leg's a little dodgy, and then there's a thing of yes, and then we have just quickly sorting out the thing. So yeah, as it's like as he says, no, I'm gonna need a hand. It's like, fortunately,
Okay.
I'm here to help. And Dr. Evans pants up the set up flight of stairs. Like, okay, right, Fenrir, we need to recalibrate your weapon
Wait, what?
because it's not. I didn't get the time to properly connect it up with the new communicating system because it was still running on the old prototype software. So I'm going to need that, and he'll
Fine.
get out his communicator and basically ask for either your communicator or weapon so that he can override that so that it works with the.
I hand him a communicator right now because I don't know what's going to be coming out of the force line.
Right. Okay. Beep 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 beep. There we are. Morphing grid link established. Now it's a full-on communicator as intended. should be linking up to your weapon. I think we should hopefully have the connection. Should all be figured out with that. So all we need to do is say the magic words, and then and it's morphin, and then
No, please don't.
then he looks up, and you realise that as he's been saying this, a shadow's been forming over your heads.
Oh,
The
cool.
ship that left is now back and casting a shadow over the top of the four of you. And
But can you get checkpoint out of here by chance?
on it. It's like, come on, off you go. And they start running and heading off. And as the hatch kind of opens up again, another shadow. No, this time. Yeah, no, there's another shadow descends. So it's going to be the same thing as before. I was wondering if I was going to do something different, but I'm not. I'm going to save that for later. You get a shadow descends, a cloud comes down, forms in the sky around you, and then dissipates as the plane takes off. And again, you're going to need an alertness roll from the both of you.
Is perception still applicable to this?
Oh, yep, definitely.
Okay. I spend a story point because, good lord, that's even worse.
I got an 18.
I have a 6.
So
It was
we
a
have-
7. It was a 7 earlier.
Okay, so we have
4.
4 story points.
Yeah.
I'm tracking them for the team.
I just used up my story. I just used up the story point that I just gained back.
Right, the one
it's
from the.
Yeah.
it's a group pool though, Talon.
Oh,
just so
oh,
you
it's a
know,
group-
it's
oh,
not
it's a group.
like your point.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, okay. Well, yeah, we're down to 4.
So, alright.
Okay.
Yep. So one of you, as before, Mariana, you notice the 5th in this case shadow, before Fenrir does, and again something emerges from it. It forms into another cloud again and splits up into 3 different figures. Again, green screen suits, but made of shadow with red eyes.
Okay, well, I didn't invite them, so somebody
Nope.
invited those
Nope.
guys.
Nope. Safest place for us right now is back at the Blue Spire.
Okay, well, down that way, and then she kind of heads in the direction of the stairs.
Okay, so what are the other 3 doing? Are you also going to try and run towards the Blue Spire? Or are you going to try and stay in front?
I'm going to alert the other 2, and then I'm going to try and call on the communicator a broadcast. Enemies are coming through the shadows. Watch out. And then, yeah, I assume we're going to run at the moment.
We're gonna.
Yeah.
Avery's gonna say, I think we should go to the Blue Spire. It's the safest place. We can't be out in the open.
Sure. I'll have more time to inspect these there.
Actually, you
Yeah.
think there might, based on the location of some of the other storm shelters, you reckon there might actually be one inside the Blue Spire somewhere? Probably, unfortunately, in one of the lower flooded levels. But it's something at least.
It's
And
good to remember.
I'm not sure if I wanted. I think we can probably say you managed to outrun the lumbering creatures that do a classic run after you, and you all gather together, kind of like crash into each other almost as you meet back up at the spire through the doors. Yeah.
There's
The
look.
downstairs, there don't appear to be any monsters in the spire at the moment. But you can see downstairs, you can see the lights of the console of Adira's.
There is a look Fen was having a Vietnam look the moment he sees Avery. You gotta be. Oh, you have to be kidding me.
She's holding a hammer, which you haven't seen before. So that's just
I'm going
yeah.
to ask right now.
Hey,
Alright.
I'm Cavadon. Good to meet you. Says
We'll
the
hold
hammer.
the pleasantries later, I guess.
Don't. She'll turn to Karkarodon and say, "He's the grumpy
No.
one. Don't worry about it."
No manners, this guy.
Oh my god, do we all get talking items? That's amazing. I want a wrench.
This isn't something I got. This is something I found. So I don't know if there are any other talking items. And she kind of like is protectively like holding on to Paradon like, this one's mine, but without saying it, just kind of like
In
clutching
any
protectively.
case, the doctor's in a safe place.
Good. I was going to ask. We should at least get inside for now and figure out where these things are coming from.
I mean, the most important thing right now is getting those turrets back online.
Rangers, comes a voice from the console downstairs.
You mean the flooded downstairs or a different
Just
downstairs?
the because there's like multiple levels of downstairs. There's
Okay.
Adira's console room is like a level below the entrance, and then a couple of levels below that there's probably a storm shelter, and that area is flooded. But Adira's
Okay.
floor is fine.
Okay. Yay, another AI.
This is Adira. Somehow she.
Emergency defense protocols. Rangers required.
Hey,
Are
Do
you
you
going
know
down the stairs?
I guess that's us.
well, Avery is the first one to go. She's just like, "Hey, Karkarodon, do you know this Adira?" and
I
then
think-
just walking down the stairs.
Mariana's like
No,
right behind you.
I'm not. I mean, I know of Adira. We've never met, and
Cool, let me introduce you.
This is not the time for
Maybe
pleasantries.
like, yeah, maybe later. He says, as it's kind of like the hammer sort of moves. You know, you're looking at the hammer, talking to it as you're going down the stairs, and the hammer kind of shifts slightly in a direction, like it's pointing at something. And
I
as you look up,
I follow the hammer.
you see standing in front of the console there's no more of the shadow creatures, fortunately. There's something else, something much larger. It stands about another head higher than all of you, and with it's a shadowy creature, but much larger. It's not, I guess, not so much cloaked in shadows like the other ones, but in kind of black armor and with patches of red over it. It's got these great big kind of ears coming out of its head that look like bat wings, that just emerge out of the side. And it turns around and it's got these kind of red eyes and great big fanged teeth that protrude forth from its mouth. It's got a kind of leathery skin, and it looks at you and looks at you and I am Draculord, and I am your doom. And that's where we'll end the session.
Ha! Draculord.
I want to steal your morphing grid.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Wow, that was a great first session, everyone. So starting with Ben, we're gonna do some outros, tell people, about your stuff and what you do and where to find you. Go, Ben.
Hi, I'm Ben, astronomer on Twitter and other places. I have done some RPG design stuff of my own. You can find that on astronomer.itch.io, but I haven't done much of that recently. yeah, that's basically what I do. I hang out on Twitter and I do this. Next up.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it's from the back. Right, that makes sense. Hi, um, I'm okay. I mostly just lurk around Twitter and Twitch, and sometimes I appear on some Let's Plays. So, hey.
Mhm. I'm Talon. I'm usually pretty private, but you can find me on Discord, Captain Talon 447, number 4401. You could also find me on Twitter at Captain Talon 447. I infrequently post there. Usually a lot of Toku memes, but that's beside the point. That's where you mostly can find me.
Okay. And Minnie.
Hey, I've been Minnie here playing Mariana Trench. You guys can find me at Twitter, Stalwart or at Stalwart Ursa. I play in a lot of various TTRPGs. Another game that I'm still playing in is Camp Carnage over on Friends Who Roll Dice. I play a camp counselor who is hopefully not going to be murdered by this mysterious thing that's coming out of the woods at night. It's totally going to be fine. But you can follow my Twitter and check out all the fun stuff that I'm doing. I'm applying for more and more TTRPGs every day. And I yell about Magic the Gathering and various other media that I critique on.
And Nilsine.
Hi, Nilsine. I am at Twitter at fell_strike. I don't do a lot of else right this second. I keep trying to, but it usually falls through. So yeah.
Hey, excellent. And I am your hostess, and this is my channel. I do stuff here sometimes. Currently, I am playing in another Power Rangers RPG actual play called Let There Be Thunder, where I play a very different, very intelligent, and not at all slacker character named Sophie on Thursdays. So, I got Power Rangers to end the week, Thursdays and Fridays. That is at twitch.tv/GM_X_MG. Sorry, I know where I play games. Yeah, and I also play on this channel every other Thursday D&D 5e actual play called The Sovereign Lands. So that's starting back up hopefully next week. Yeah, and if you want to know more about the projects that are happening for me personally, follow XO_Girl Wonder. And if you want to hear more about the Bardic Inspiration Network and all of the things that are happening on this channel, feel free to follow the Bard Network on Twitter. And just hang on a moment. We are going to see if there's anyone fun to raid. I think I'm going to send us over to Weave the Tale in just a short moment. So hang tight for that raid. We'll see you back here next week, 1 p.m. Eastern, for more Power Rangers Solar City. Goodbye, and may the power protect you.
Sick.